You need to know about a change coming to Amazon products starting this Friday. An AI version of Alexa is coming to Echo devices, and tech experts across the country are waving a red flag. Dave Hatter is our tech expert, and he's here to let us know how to protect your privacy. As always, Dave, good to see you. Good morning.
Yeah, always my pleasure, Sheila. And I love to talk about this stuff because it makes me a little crazy.
I bet it does. So Alexa is going to automatically roll out to Echo devices something called Alexa Plus, which is a form of AI. Yeah. So what is Alexa Plus, and what does it mean for users?
Well, so Amazon sent out this email telling people that Alexa Plus is coming. And, the idea is it's going to use generative AI to provide more capabilities. One of the things they talk about is the idea that it could recognize voices uniquely. So it would know that you're asking for your calendar versus someone else's in your house calendar. So, I understand what they're trying to do, and I think they're also trying to figure out new ways to monetize this thing. I don't think it's generated a lot of revenue for them. But the big concern, Sheila, like so many of these things that I have with any IoT devices, do people really understand when they're listening to you, what data they're capturing? There have been a lot of allegations, including some settlements with Amazon in the past, about employees listening to the audio that's been recorded, about employees watching the video that's been recorded by a Ring camera. Again, all these internet devices, if they have a camera and a microphone, they have to be able to listen to you to know when to activate. That's been shown in studies. These things activate a lot more frequently than people would expect because they're geared towards ease of use, right? And market share. They're not geared towards your privacy. And that's why these things always make me nuts. Do consumers really have informed consent when they use these? And often the answer is no.
Well, yeah, because we have no idea what they're going to do with our voice recordings. And they actually had to pay some civil penalties for storing recordings of children's interactions with Alexa. They were storing those forever. So the question to me is, why would they even keep these recordings?
Well, I think the argument would be they're purportedly enhancing their service both to you as the consumer through AI, and by listening to these recordings, analyze these recordings, they theoretically can make it respond better, right?
Right,
Nobody
they can,
wants
but what
the frustration
else? But what should we be afraid of, though?
Well, in the past, you had an option to store this stuff locally, right? And to not send the full recordings to the server. It would basically try to figure out what you want. Now, again, it's got to talk to their servers to go out and get whatever it is you want. But with this change, they're basically saying, per this email, as of March 28th, you won't be able to store your recordings locally. If you do, it breaks most of the functionality, which means everything you say is when it's enabled, right? Again, there's disputes around when it's actually listening to you, but all of this data is going to their servers. And then at which point, what are they doing with it? Could they be selling it to third parties? Do you really want this thing potentially listening and capturing that data of private conversations you're having with your spouse, your partner, your kids? In your house? Of course, you know my answer, Sheila. Thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah,
I'll take a hard pass.
I don't have one either. I'd take a pass on it too. But people are not going to be able to change their settings. I mean, if you use it, it's going to be automatic. So what do you think people ought to do? Not use it at all?
Well, yeah, the way it's explained to me, or the way it's been explained rather in that email, Sheila, is, you won't be able to store the recordings locally. And if you really want to continue to use the device in any meaningful way, you essentially have to allow this. So, my advice to folks out there would be, if you have an Echo and you're using Alexa, wonder how many we just turned on, you should probably reconsider, does it really make sense? I understand the convenience and the cool factor of these things, but do you really want it? In light of some of these other allegations and settlements, I encourage people to look into that for themselves. Do you really want this thing listening to you and sending all that data to Amazon and then doing who knows what with it? Again, my answer is no. If you fully understand that and you fully understand the potential consequences, well, okay, at least you're making an informed choice. But I don't think most people really understand this, which is why I always love chatting with you about this. And hopefully we're doing some good raising awareness about the potential downside of these so-called smart devices.
Exactly. Like, we want people to be making an informed decision, like make a decision, not just be a lamb who's, following this tech because they think it's cool. Dave, we always appreciate you. Thank you so much. Again, that starts on Friday this week.
Sure, you could stop watching now, but let's be honest, you want to see more. So click some of those links, or better yet, go ahead and tap subscribe. That way you'll catch more content from Local 12.